for sure. That's just one thing I know for sure. That's just one thing I know for sure. That's just one thing I know for sure. A flower pressed in a book of songs. What's left to wonder after we're gone? And don't spend your whole life.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show with your host, Brad Brock.
Oh yeah, that's right. Welcome. It's a coffee in the morning. I'm Brad Brock, and I'll be your host this morning. Thanks for joining me live over on YouTube or listening in on the JNC Radio LIVE365 Radio App. Wherever you're listening, please smash the subscribe button. Give us just a little bit of love. If you're watching on Facebook already, even though it just went live there, come over to YouTube. There's a link in the description of the video you're watching right now. Click that. Come over to YouTube and have some fun with us and the guys in the chat room holding down the fort there. It's a better time over here. Well, yes, it is August 16th, 2022. Bright and early, 8 in the morning. Lots of fun stuff going on today. It is National Rum Day. We'll get into that. But we do have a local rum celebrity in the chat room there, Mr. Paul Robertson from the Drums and Rums podcast. So thanks for joining us, Paul. We'll talk a little bit about rum today. But I guess we'll do a little check of the weather. It's looking a little ominous outside at the moment. But here in South Florida, this morning the temperatures are in the mid to upper 70s under mostly clear skies and some showers sitting offshore, looming, if you will. This afternoon, the highs are in the low 90s and the heat indices in the triple digits once again. Scattered afternoon and evening showers and storms through sunset. The grass needs it. And the other various plants, but the grass really. Tonight, the lows in the mid to upper 70s and mainly dry into the night. Tomorrow brings us a similar weather day. The highs in the low 90s and evening showers and storms. So, it's really starting to feel like summer here in Florida, to be honest. This is the weather that we wait for all year for summertime here in Florida. We do have some fun stories in the top 10 list. I'm going to give you the most expensive rums on the planet. So take notes, Paul, because these are the rums that I want to start sampling. We'll just have to, take out mortgages on our homes to afford them. Some of them are pretty steep. It's incredible. We're also going to talk a little bit about Elvis Presley, as today marks the 45th anniversary of his death. Just pretty impressive. And he's been dead that long, I suppose. And, of course, one of the brightest stars in the sky dimmed back in 2019, and now we know why, and I'm going to tell you why. Yeah, I had a meeting with Paul, actually, last night, talking about podcast network stuff and some new shows that we're putting together as a duo, as a team. Very exciting stuff coming on the horizon for that. So, Paul, that was a great meeting. Got a little hangover from drinking all that just rum last night, to be honest with you. I woke up this morning and was like, ooh, I'm swimming. I am swimming in it. which is, always a good time to be swimming in a hangover and then have to get up super early to hang out with you guys. But hanging out with you guys make it completely worth it. So how about that? We're going to dive into our first musical break here. And when we come back, first story I'll share with you is answering a question you may have asked yourself. What does a dive bar taste like? And a company has pulled it together. And I'm going to tell you who it is when we come back. You're listening to Jams and Coffee in the Morning. Thanks for tuning in.
Strangers outside. So did you blow? Did you knock? You vanished from my side. I see the road where the signs will light up. And I feel my feet, they're already there. Strangers outside, they won't stop knocking until you answer. And someone might come, they might carry you out on their shoulder. It might not. And I feel my feet, they're already there.
happy with. Lately over being unlucky, it's obvious that I need a day off. like someone cut my legs off. But I'm fine, just stressed out. Lately I feel left out. Living life looking like hell. But I've been better with you around. Hey, you make me feel right when I'm out of patience. Feel like I am on vacation. You sound so nice singing my song, and I'm right where I belong. Right where I belong. Good conversations always on my motivation. I need a list of names to fix my reputation. Amazing how these people use communication. I try to live my life, they keep me on probation. So much to do, no time to do it. So much to say to try to get through this. I'm fine, just a little clueless. But baby, right now you're on my to-do list. You make me feel right when I'm out of patience. Feel like I am on vacation. You sound so nice singing my song, and I'm right where I belong. Right where I belong. Right where I belong. You make me feel right. Feel like I'm on vacation. You sound so nice singing my song, and I'm right where I belong. Right where I
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show.
That's right. And that was East Harbor, right where I belong. Local guys, you can see them around town down here. Philip, when you come to visit. Super cool. It's actually the lead singer is a son of my friend Terry, who we used to work on cruise ships together. Good friend of mine. And yeah, his kid's band is awesome. They're going to be huge stars, for sure, without a doubt. Before we jump into this first story of the morning here, I guess we'll knock out our national days. Today, August 16th, is National Airborne Day, honoring, of course, the military's airborne divisions of the armed forces. August 16th, 1940, just a few years ago, marks the date of the first official Army parachute jump at Fort Benning, Georgia. The successful jump validated the innovative concept of inserting U.S. ground combat forces behind a battle line via parachute. These sky soldiers represent some of the most prestigious and expertly trained forces in the United States Army. The U.S. Army currently has 2 airborne divisions. The 82nd Airborne Division out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, began as an infantry division. During World War I, the 82nd Division activated on 25th of August, 1917, at Camp Gordon. In 1918, they earned the nickname All-American for the composition of their division, since the soldiers came not only from all across the country, but several were immigrants too. The 82nd Division represented all of America, as few other divisions did at the time. The 2nd and still active Airborne Division had a short-lived beginning. During World War I, the 101st Airborne Division organized for a short while on November 2nd, 1918. However, the war ended shortly thereafter. During World War II, the Screaming Eagles reactivated on August 16th, 1942 at Camp Claiborne, Louisiana. They currently make their home at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Both units served around the world in combat, peacekeeping, and humanitarian missions. Thank you for your service, airborne members, and happy National Day. It's also National Roller Coaster Day. As if jumping out of a plane wasn't thrilling enough. Each year on August 16th, people flock to amusement parks for a thrill, a few exciting screams, and to celebrate National Roller Coaster Day. Take a ride on a roller coaster near you today. The day commemorates the first vehicle loop roller coaster, which was patented by Edwin Prescott on this day all the way back in 1898. A roller coaster consists, of course, of one or multiple cars on a track. While they are similar to railroad systems in design, the inclines and vertical loops incorporated in the structures aren't for transportation. No, these elements boost the thrills roller coaster enthusiasts seek. The oldest roller coasters are believed to have originated from the so-called Russian mountains. Built in the 17th century, these specially constructed hills of ice located near St. Petersburg, Russia, rose between 70 and 80 feet in height, and passengers faced 50-degree drops. Wooden supports supplied reinforcement. How about that? Happy Roller Coaster Day. Any roller coaster fans out there? What's your favorite? I've got a couple that I really enjoy. Philip says he drives in Nashville. Who needs a roller coaster? I guess that's a fair assessment as well, Philip. It's also National Tell a Joke Day. And, of course, in unrelated news, I once had a girlfriend who broke up with me because I never bought her roses. But the truth is, I didn't know that she sold roses. Ha ha! Where is it? Where is it? Yes, take that for myself. I'll see myself out. What happened to the comedian on August 16th during National Tell a Joke Day? Well, everyone stole his punchlines. But all joking aside, get out there and laugh a little and tell some funny ones. This day will be filled with smiles and laughter from morning till night. So far, so good. Jokes consist of humorous stories, either written or verbal, that often tend or end with a punchline. While slapstick includes props and even minor stunts on the part of the storyteller, the best jokes are usually short. I mean, look at me. Ha ha! Again. They involve a little misdirection and a well-delivered punchline. The more jokes you tell, the more fun you'll have, and so will those around you. Did you know that jokes have been a part of human culture since at least 1900 BC? Since jokes come in many forms, try out your favorite. For some, that might be a one-liner or a knock-knock joke. Well, many people groan at the sight of a pun. They bring on chuckles, too. If you aren't comfortable with the whole comedic act, rely on your sense of irony. Use this approach like seasoning, however. You might have a tough crowd. Others simply rely on gestures to express humor. When telling a joke, timing and delivery can be an essential element. Without it, the joke will fall flat. Also, be sure to know the audience. For example, clown jokes may not go over well at a phobia convention. So yes, National Joke Day. Let me hear your favorite jokes. You can put them in the chats and comments, or you can give me a shout on the JNC Lounge line at 772-888-1596. Love to hear from you. Love to hear your favorite joke. I'm sitting here now thinking of funny jokes. Something to deliver. Did you guys hear about the man who evaporated? He will be missed. All right. That's enough of that. National Joke Day. Good times, good times. This story might sound like a joke, but it's not. It truly isn't. Now, many of us have mixed memories of dive bars. We even talked about a few of them locally here in the Treasure Coast area. These spots may have been a bit thrown together and even at times smelly, but they were incredibly fun. These bars are often filled with history, sometimes hazy memories, and a lot of good times. We may have outgrown the experience, but they'll always stick out as some of the best times of our lives. Now, dive bars aren't the only type of bars with tons of history. Ice cream bars have their own history and some pretty special memories. Now, Miller High Life is trying its hand at paying tribute to both with dive bar flavored ice cream. That's right. That's right. What does a dive bar taste like? Well, in honor of the institution that is dive bars and the 100th anniversary of the ice cream bar, Miller High Life partnered with Tipsy Scoop to create the ice cream dive bar. This ice cream is, of course, infused with Miller High Life, but also a peanut swirl to reflect the peanut shells always found on the floor of those bars, or the peanuts sitting on the bar for you to eat. A bit of tobacco smoke flavor, interesting, as well as a caramel swirl, sprinkle of carbonated candy, and a dark chocolate dip. It sounds interesting. The best news is that you can have these ice cream bars delivered right to your front door. A 6-pack of ice cream dive bars will be available for purchase starting yesterday at tipsyscoop.com. Goldbelly and in person at Tipsy Scoop's 3 New York Barlers locations. If you're in New York, you can go get your hands on it. Sounds like a great way to bring the dive bar experience to your couch, minus the tipsy walk home. It works for us. Philip had a good joke. Said somebody asked if my stomach was flat. I said yes, but the L is silent. That was a good one. Dive bars. Hints of tobacco smoke. My God. Interesting story. I mentioned earlier on in the show, one of the brightest stars in the sky dimmed back in 2019, and now we know why. The star Betelgeuse, don't say it 3 times or he'll appear, but it visibly dimmed back in 2019, and now a new analysis reveals why. It appears that Betelgeuse blew out and is still recovering. The red supergiant star, which is about 530 light years from Earth, is among the brightest in the night sky. The star forms the shoulder of the constellation Orion. It's also geriatric. Betelgeuse is nearing the end of its stellar life and will eventually explode in a supernova visible from Earth. Though it may take another 100,000 years, according to 2021 research. Anybody want to stay up and wait for it? In late 2019, Betelgeuse's light started to dim. By February 2020, it had lost 2/3 of its normal luminosity as seen from Earth. Scientists studying the bizarre dimming concluded that the star itself was not imminently going supernova, but that a giant dust cloud had obscured some of the star's light. Now scientists using the Hubble Space Telescope, that's still up there and doing its thing, have revealed that this dust cloud was the result of an enormous ejection from the star's surface. A plume more than 1 million miles across may have risen from inside the star, producing the equivalent of a starquake. That's a new one. Write that down. Add that to your vocabulary. It was a shock that blew out a chunk of the star's surface 400 million times larger than those usually seen in the sun's coronal mass ejections. The team reporter in a paper published to the preprint database, ARXIV, and accepted by the Astrophysical Journal for publication. The Harvard and Smithsonian Center of Astrophysics said in a statement, Betelgeuse continues doing some very unusual things right now. The interior is sort of bouncing. This is uncharted territory in star science. said Andrea Dupree, the associate director of the Harvard and Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics. We've never seen a huge mass ejection of the surface of a star, she said. We are left with something going on that we don't completely understand. It's a totally new phenomenon that we can observe directly and resolve surface details with Hubble. We're watching stellar evolution in real time. The new research also incorporated information from a variety of other stellar observatories, such as the Stella Robotic Observatory in Spain's Canary Islands and NASA's Earth-orbiting Stereo A spacecraft. By piecing together different types of data, Dupree and her team were able to put together a narrative of the blowout and its aftermath. The eruption blew off a chunk of the star's lower atmosphere, the photosphere, leaving behind a cool spot that was further occluded by the dust cloud from the blowout. The chunk of the photosphere was several times the mass of Earth's moon, according to a NASA statement. This cool spot and dust cloud explain why Betelgeuse light dimmed. The star is still feeling the reverberations, the researchers found. Before the eruption, Betelgeuse had a pulsating pattern, dimming and brightening on a 400-day cycle. Now, that cycle is now gone, at least temporarily. It's possible that the convection cells inside the star are still sloshing around, disrupting this pattern, the researchers found. The star's outer atmosphere may be back to normal, but its surface may still be jiggling like jello, according to NASA's Hubble site. The eruption isn't evidence that Betelgeuse will go supernova anytime soon, the researchers said, but it does show how old stars lose mass. If Betelgeuse does finally die in a stellar explosion, the light will be visible in the daytime from Earth, but the star is too far away to have any other impacts on our planet. So, that's good. Good news. Philip says, when you plug in an iPhone to charge, can this be considered apple juice? I suppose so. Yeah, it's interesting. We live in a crazy time where we're able to see things out in space that we were never able to see before, and it's interesting. You know, Betelgeuse, obviously a huge part of our celestial history. It's interesting to see it going through this life cycle. Just think about it. We're all this time that Earth has been around, we're living to see the end of Betelgeuse, the beginning of the end, I suppose. And we were all alive while Van Halen was here. Pretty amazing stuff, if I don't say so. You know what else is amazing? Elvis Presley has been dead for 45 years, which means that he died long before I was even born and is still a massive legend. Now, some people may say that Elvis is still alive. That's becoming less and less probable, as he would be relatively old by now. Very old, in fact. But today marks the 45th anniversary of Elvis Presley's death. 4.5 decades. That's how long it's been since the world lost Elvis Presley, but his life and legacy still influence pop culture today. The most recent biopic about the king of rock and roll brought in more than $250 million worldwide. And while his time on the throne was cut short, Elvis Presley died at his home in Graceland on this day back in 1977. His singing career, of course, began in 1954 and was heavily influenced by growing up in a predominantly black neighborhood in Tupelo, Mississippi. Elvis's career has been both celebrated and criticized. Some say he profited off of black music, But others, like the legendary B.B. King, defended Elvis, saying he reinterpreted the music he grew up with. His legacy doesn't just live and die with his roster of songs. No. Brendan Paul, an Elvis impersonator, said the music is great, but if it wasn't his heart and that charisma and what he gave to people in other ways besides songs, he would just be a rock star from the 50s that died. Love for Elvis spans decades and generations. He starred in more than 30 films and won several awards, but for some fans, the man behind the music is who they fell for. Elvis's generosity is also a note, like when he gave a Las Vegas hotel employee a brand new car. Everything that you hear about Elvis, things that he did and the things that he gave, he really did that, said Alonzo Langstaff, who worked at the Las Vegas International Hotel when Elvis stayed there. Las Vegas was Elvis's unofficial home away from home, where he spent years of his life on stage at the International Hotel. After that first show, I said, every time Elvis comes back to town, I'm going to be here. And I managed to do that 15 times, said Susan Lorenz, member of the Elvis Presley fan club. Those were 15 of the more than 830 sold-out shows spanning nearly 7.5 of the final 8 years of his life. Now, Elvis lives on through his image and likeness, his adoring fans, and his family. If there's a heaven and I see Elvis, I would literally say thank you, truly, for providing a life for my kids. God bless the king of rock and roll, said Brendan Paul. So, 45 years gone today, Elvis Presley. Gone allegedly. There's still some conspiracy theorists saying that he lived long past when we all were told that he passed away. In some music news, one of my favorites, Maren Morris, is possibly taking her talents to Broadway. And Jordan actually reported on this weeks and weeks back on the Jams and Cocktails podcast. But Maren Morris has made it no secret that a lifelong dream of hers is to star in Wicked, the Broadway musical Wicked. And the singer is officially one step closer to turning her Broadway dreams into a reality. She celebrated some very good news on her Instagram stories, writing in lime green letters against a white backdrop, "I got a call back for Wicked. I'm in tears. What the hell?" The singer also shared the excellent news, on Twitter, which earned her a round of applause from none other than Kristen Chenoweth, who originated the role of Glinda in Wicked's Broadway debut. She said, "You go, baby. Told you could do it." The Broadway legend cheered. Soon after, Miss Morris took to her Instagram story to talk about the significance of the moment. She said, "Y'all, I literally don't even care. Yes, I do. If I go beyond this callback, because this is like 14-year-old Marin's getting to achieve something that was never in reach." She added, her Broadway dreams just never felt possible. She declared, "We'll see where it goes. I'm just really happy. I love Wicked. I love Elphaba. I love Kristen Chenoweth. Thank you, Kristen, for inspiring me to just buck up and send in the self-tape." Maren revealed in May that she made an audition tape where she sings The Wizard and I, a solo number sung by the character Elphaba, in hopes of being cast in the beloved musical. She also previously revealed that she wants to play Elphaba, and becomes, of course, the infamous Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. The hitmaker said she identifies heavily with the green-skinned character. So honestly, if you've seen Wicked or, know anything about the musical at all, first of all, the soundtrack is on another planet. The talent that went into that very first cast, and casts, of course, moving forward, but, it was groundbreaking. And, some of the songs are just legendary now. And I think that Marin would be a great Elphaba. She looks the part. She's, got those dark features. She's gorgeous. I think she would really do a nice job. I'm interested to see, though, because obviously they're turning Wicked into a major motion picture. And starring, of course, Ariana Grande is one of the big names that is going to be part of that film, and she's an incredible singer. Think of what you want about her music. If you cut all that out and just sheer talent, man, that kid has pipes. She'll knock anybody dead on their feet with that voice and her little package of a body. But yeah, I would love to see Marin as Elphaba in Wicked. Great musical. Going back to the Elvis story, Philip said his co-workers in Memphis this week for Elvis Week. And she's convinced that he did not die. She thinks he is in witness protection and lived on out of sight of the public's eye. Could be. I'm all good for a good conspiracy theory. One is relatively widespread. Comes to the king of rock and roll. When we come back from this music break, I'm going to give you a little arachnid story. So if you're squeamish about spiders, Jordan, you might want to listen up, because I'm going to make them a little bit more lovable. No, I'm not. That's ridiculous. We're going to give you celebrity birthdays and, of course, the top 10 list, the top 10 most expensive rums. When we come back, you're listening to Jams and Coffee in the Morning on YouTube, Facebook, or JNC Radio on the Live365 app. The hotline is open at 772-888-1596. We'd love to hear from you. Here's one from Christine Baird. We'll be right back.
Will you call me when you get off the train? I don't care if it's midnight again. All I wanna hear you say is, baby, I know why don't you head this way? 'Cause I don't wanna sleep alone tonight. I don't wanna sleep alone tonight. A friend of mine, he said his love's gone and left. Oh no, I can't imagine any greater theft. Life can be cold and unbeatable storm. Promise me, baby, to keep your bed nice and warm. 'Cause I don't wanna sleep alone tonight. I don't wanna sleep alone tonight. I know I will be alright. I don't wanna sleep alone tonight. Every time you call my name, send shivers down my spine. I can't wait a minute more for your place or mine. Ain't no way that you can say you don't want me by your side. Ain't no the lonely night. I don't wanna sleep alone tonight. I don't wanna sleep alone tonight. I know I would be alright. I don't wanna sleep alone tonight.
That's right, Christine Baird. I don't want to sleep alone tonight. Keep going down the path you're going, Philip. You might sleep alone tonight. I appreciate you guys tuning in on YouTube or tuning in over on the JNC Radio Live365 Radio App. Available, of course, for free wherever you get your apps. And you can listen to the show without having to see my ugly mug. And it's a great experience over there on the app. In fact, in all honesty, the radio app is the only place where I'm not violating some sort of copyright infringement. So it would be great for you to go and listen over there so that I can remain legal. I think Jordan gave me a traffic update. I'm going to read it out loud because she's hilarious. She said, left early and tried to take an alternative route, also known as US 1, because, well, it's the only other option, and still won't be to work until 9 on the dot. She said, I hate people and not knowing how to drive. She said, you guessed it, Stewart, Hope Sound, accident on 95, kill me. There's always something, I don't understand that exit. That area, it's like just people lose their mind there. And to be fair, in that Stewart area, there's like 2 back-to-back on-ramps, and it just, I imagine it gets pretty congested for people trying to go to work or get to wherever they're going. But the biggest problem I find isn't the people that are audacious. I feel like it's the people that are super cautious or are creeping onto the on-ramp, because they're afraid of merging into traffic at a high speed. I understand that, but at the same time, I believe, in my humble opinion, that it causes more problems than it does than it does being cautious. Semi-trucks barreling down that far right lane at 75, 80 miles an hour sometimes, and you're creeping on to the highway, not just you going 50 miles an hour or 40 in some cases, but you have, 8 or 9 cars behind you that are all trying to railroad their way onto the highway. It creates a huge problem. My advice to you is get over your fears of speed and hit the gas when you're merging onto a highway. My God. Very least to the speed limit. Certainly not 40 miles under it. But yeah, I can imagine that that's probably the catalyst for any accidents that go on in that area, if you're familiar with the Stewart, Hobe Sound area on the highways. Yeah, that Hobe Sound bend, or Paul. Your Paul's Florida man story when it was a chopper chase that ended there. It's a crazy spot. I feel like it's the Bermuda Triangle of the Treasure Coast. Treasure Coast Triangle. I don't know. Making shit up now. Now I'm all hot and bothered. Glad I'm not driving today. Got some celebrity birthdays. The Madge, Madonna, turning 64 years old. You wouldn't know it if you looked at her. Looks like a 35-year-old alien. The pop icon and diva who was one of the most prominent faces in music during the 1980s. She's sold over 300 million albums across the world, and her best-known songs include Like a Virgin, Papa Don't Preach and 4 Minutes. Never heard of 4 Minutes in my life. That's some shit that Jordan would know. Yeah, Madonna's crazy. She's looking wild these days. 64 though. Still got it. I think her boyfriend's 24, if I'm not mistaken. Wild. Turning 60 years old today. Best known, of course, for his role as the attention-starved boss Michael Scott, the NBC series The Office. Steve Carell, 60. He became known to TV audiences as a correspondent on The Daily Show from 1999 to 2005, and had his big screen breakthrough in 2005 with the 40-year-old version. Other films include Bruce Almighty, Little Miss Sunshine, Anchorman, and Beautiful Boy. Happy birthday, Steve Carell. Angela Bassett, also turning 64 years old today. Actress, of course, who earned an Academy Award nomination for her role as Tina Turner in the 1993 biopic, What's Love Got to Do with It? Other film credits include Waiting to Exhale, Notorious, The Jacksons, An American Dream, Malcolm X, and Black Panther. She also plays Desiree Dupree in FX's American Horror Story. I believe when I was in high school, she was actually, I was in choir in high school. And each year we would go to Disney. They would, during Christmas time, they would have their candlelight processional, which is basically all these choirs from around the state would come together and sing Christmas songs while a guest celebrity speaker would kind of narrate the way through all these tunes. And one year that we did it, Angela Bassett was the narrator. It was many years ago now. But pretty good, pretty fun. Acclaimed director James Cameron, turning 68 years old today. I didn't realize he was that young, to be honest with you. Yeah, of course, legendary director of the film Titanic, Aliens, Avatar, The Abyss, The Terminator, and Terminator 2 Judgment Day. He also co-created the 3D fusion camera system, which enabled the look of the fantastical Avatar world. I believe he was also the one of the first people to make his way all the way down to the actual Titanic and film there. Happy birthday, 68. Vanessa Carlton, of course, her big hit single, 1,000 Miles, was in the top 5 of the 2002 Billboard Hot 100. She's turning 42 years old today. Happy birthday, Vanessa Carlton. And turning 34 years old, Bruce Willis and Demi Moore's daughter, Rumor Willis. She actually became the winner of season 20 of Dancing with the Stars. She appeared in the films The House Bunny, Striptease, and The Whole Nine Yards. In 2019, she had a stint on NBC's The Masked Singer. Happy birthday, Rumor. 34. Ooh, wild. Wild. You guys like spiders? Well, if you don't like spiders, shame on you. Spiders are wonderful, magical creatures. And there's more than meets the eye. Well, I just want you to imagine a spider hanging from a silky thread, as still as a corpse, until its 8 legs unexpectedly tremble. Might sound like a horror movie. It's actually a nightly experience for jumping spiders. Can reach rapid eye movement sleep. That's REM sleep. The stage in which most dreaming occurs, a new study finds. In the study, published in August 8th in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, researchers used cameras to examine jumping spiders while they slept. Watching the motions of the arachnids' eyes and bodies throughout the night, the twitching movements the team witnessed as the spider snoozed was similar to that seen in humans and other mammals such as dogs, as well as non-avian reptiles and cephalopods during REM sleep. The discovery actually came about unexpectedly for lead study author Daniela Robler, a behavioral and evolutionary ecologist and postdoctoral fellow at the University of Konstanz in Germany. She was originally planning to study the arachnid's reactions to 3D printed models of predatory spiders. But her research took a swift detour when she observed the spiders while they slept. At one point, she thought they were dead. Robler told the Scientific American, "They were all hanging from the lids of their boxes. I had no idea what happened." With a cheap night vision camera equipped with a magnifying lens she attached with duct tape, Robler focused her lens on one of the females. At first, it simply hung there, immobile. But eventually, its legs began twitching, along with its abdomen and silk-producing spinnerets. At one point, its legs curled upwards. The entire display lasted about a minute and repeated periodically throughout the evening. They were just uncontrollably twitching in a way that really looked a lot like when dogs or cats dream and have their little REM phases. The study, Robler and her team used an infrared camera to record 34 spiderlings. That's young spiders, for those of you following along. They witnessed unmistakable eye tube movements that didn't occur at other times throughout the spider's sleep cycles. According to the paper, jumping spiders have movable retinal tubes that help them redirect their gaze, and in spiderlings, these movements can be seen through their exoskeleton, which remains translucent during their youth. The spider's retinal movements occurred at the same time as the leg curling and jerking, which are similar to limb movements seen in other animals experiencing REM sleep. And while the scientists couldn't easily observe retinal movements in adult jumping spiders, they did document similar leg movements happening at regular intervals during sleeping bouts. Prior to this research, not much was known about the sleep patterns of spiders and other invertebrates, since the study of REM sleep is largely focused on mammals and birds. However, scientists have already recorded similar actions in two other invertebrates, octopuses. What a weird word. Octopuses and cuttlefish. While Robler cautioned that it's too soon to say for certain that jumping spiders are dreaming, the evidence looks promising. To broaden her research, she and her team must conduct brain scans to prove that the spiders' brains are actually in a REM-like state. And that's a tricky undertaking, considering that these tiny spiders, which measure about 1/4 of an inch long, have brains the size of poppy seeds. To record the spider's brain activity, scientists will need to insert an electrode into each spider's brain without crushing it, of course. Until then, scientists might find themselves dreaming about spider dreams. Robler told the Harvard Gazette, "I personally think they are dreaming. Just like any person watching a dog or cat sleep, kick their leg, will think that they're dreaming. But being able to scientifically prove that is a whole different story. I don't think we can say they are, and I'm not even sure we will ever be able to say it. But the fact alone that we're thinking about it is already quite amazing." So my question is, what do you think little spiders would dream about? And do they have nightmares of fly swatters and flip-flops coming towards them? I personally love spiders. I think that they are important, and I choose to let them live when I see them around my home. Jordan, on the other hand, freaks out, hates them, but I believe that they have a purpose. And so, yeah, spiders. It's a safe haven for spiders. A call to all spiders out there. Welcome here. You're welcome here in my home. Come one, come all. Spiders all day. Right, Jordan? All the spiders. Well, with that being said, I think it's time to jump into celebrating National Rum Day with our top 10 list of the most expensive rums in the world. Here we go. Yeah, Paul says the spiders help get rid of ants. They sure do. They are welcome in the lounge. You know, knock on wood, we've not had ants in this lounge in quite some time, thankfully. Man, that was a weird time to be alive when we would get assaulted by carpenter ants in here daily. Wild stuff. Well, you guys, if you want to celebrate National Rum Day and you've got a posh bank account, then this list is for you. Otherwise, it's just a hilarious list of rum that we'll never get to try. Rum, of course, was the first branded spirit ever made. Colonists drank 12 million gallons of it annually, while sailors to the Royal Navy often mixed it with lime juice to fight off scurvy. Vice Admiral Horatio Nelson, the English naval commander of the Royal Navy who died in the Battle of Trafalgar, must have loved this drink so much that he asked that his body be preserved in a cask of rum before it was buried. They recently dug up this cask and it bottled his body rum juice. I'm just kidding. That's a little joke. Could you imagine? Puerto Rico is a major producer of rum and accounts for more than 80% of the world's rum. The drink is known by many names, such as Barbados Water, Kill Devil, Nelson's Blood, Pirate's Drink, Navy Heaters, and Demon Water, among others. So, has a rich and long history involving Caribbean pirates and the slave trade. Drink up. We serve you this list of the world's most expensive rums. Number 10 on this list is Rum Clement, 1952. Currently retailing at a whopping $1,200. It's bottled in 1991 and is dark amber in color. Produced in Martinique, the site of an old Creole sugarcane plantation. The label on the bottle has an image of Homer Clement. He was a doctor and mayor of Les Francois. As a racial socialist, he was able to recognize that there was a huge demand for high-quality alcohol during World War I. He started by purchasing an old Creole sugarcane plantation, domain, can't pronounce that, La Acajou, very French, and immediately built a distillery. As an entrepreneur, he was able to produce some of the best rum in the world. After passing on, he left the distillery to his son Charles, and as they say, the apple does not fall far from the tree, and in this case, it's in a good way. Charles continued with his father's legacy of producing high-quality alcohol, and the Rum Clement 1952 is the oldest rum to be produced at the original distillery before it was relocated. Considered one of the finest rums ever to be produced, the Havana Club Maximo Extra, made from a blend of rare and fine rums sourced from the distiller's extensive reserves. Havana Club's cellars. Maestro del Ron Cubano, Don Jose Navarro, created it. A rum was distilled and bottled while maintaining the genuine tradition of Cuban rum production. This process is long and painstaking, but in the end, it awakens the flavors of the finest and oldest rum reserves. What you ought to know is that this process only allows for 1,000 bottles of Havana Club Maximo Extra to be produced every year. The rum has an amber glow, deepened by extra aging. The nose has a rich and delicate aroma with smoky and oak notes. There are subtle tones of fresh pear, dried fruit, and coconut. It's dry and sweet rum. It has a hint of dark chocolate, vanilla, and dried fruits. Thanks to its warm finish, the Havana Club Maximo Extra presents spicy notes. And Paul Paul, did you talk to these guys from this place, the Rum Clement? I can't remember. I feel like I missed one here. Because it skips. I think I said number 9, but I didn't say number 9. It doesn't say it on my article here, but I think that was number 9. Havana Club Maximo Extra. I don't even know if it gave me how much it is. Probably a lot. But number 8 on this list is Ron Bacardi de Maestros de Ron Vintage 2012. And that, founded in 1862, Bacardi was established after Don Fasundo Bacardi Masso bought a small distillery. There's a lot of names there. Celebrate 150 years of producing high-quality alcohol, Bacardi produced a limited number of the following rum. Ron Bacardi de Maestros de Ron Vintage 2012. And that goes for about $2,000 a bottle, especially made from the combination of the finest rums, Bacardi's Puerto Rican and Mexican blenders. The 2012 was produced by 8 master blenders, combined in 60-year-old cognac casks. And the resulting rum is full-bodied and luxurious with a hint of spice. And has the following notes: raisins, sweet dried tropical fruit, dark chocolate, creme caramel, freshly ground coffee beans, prunes, dried pineapple, and a slight hint of smoky sandalwood. The aftertaste is also quite pleasant. You should detect the following notes: cracked coffee beans, dried pineapple, prunes, and bitter chocolate with lingering nutmeg, spice, and cinnamon. The clear and deep amber color broadens tints. The Ron Bacardi de Maestros de Ron Vintage 2012 has the following aroma: burnt sugar, espresso coffee, mandarin zest, vanilla, cinnamon, toasted maple wood, and nutmeg spice. And to preserve all of the above notes and aroma, the bottle comes with a natural cork stopper. Could be yours for $2,000. Number 7 on this list is the 8-year-old Bacardi Millennium Rum Atlantis Special Edition. That could be yours for $2,779. The Atlantis Special Edition is a limited edition decanter produced specifically for the Atlantic Resort on Paradise Island in the Bahamas. Atlantis Resort. With a sweet and rich flavor, the rum was aged for 8 years before bottling. It was prepared specifically to celebrate the new millennium. Since the rum was for auction, it did not come in its original box. 3,000 bottles were produced. The rum comes with a certificate of authenticity just to show the amount of preparation, care, and testing that was done to ensure customers had a genuine product. The good news about the 8-year-old Bacardi Millennium Rum Atlantis Special Edition is that it brings the long-held Bacardi tradition of producing rum. Bacardi happens a lot on this article. Number 6, Bacardi again. Bacardi Superior Rum from Spain, bottled in the 1940s. You can pick this bottle up for $2,824. Born in Catalonia in 1814, Fasundo Bacardi immigrated to Cuba in 1830. When he arrived, rum was cheaply made, and so it was not such a refined drink. In order to change this, Bacardi began experimenting with several techniques of blending and making high-quality rum. After several attempts, he finally found the right technique. Simply put, he filtered rum through charcoal, which helped to remove the impurities. Later, he aged the rum in oak barrels for several years, and this had a mellowing effect on the drink. After successfully blending the first high-quality rum, he and his brother, Joe, set up a shop and distillery in 1862. From there, the master blenders used the distillery to produce Bacardi Superior Rum and others. With an alcohol content of 46%, the rum is white and was produced in Spain. The bottle is quite old, and so care should be taken when opening it. 1940s. Only $2,800, Paul. We could do this. Number 5, the original Royal Navy naval rum tot. This is only $3,000. As aged rum, the original Royal Naval rum tot has been stored for the last 40 years in stone flagons by the Royal Navy. It's part of the last rum ration. It was last served to the British Royal Navy sailors in July of 1970, a time when the 300-year-old tradition of a daily rum ration came to an end. The day was marked by 6 bells according to the forenoon watch, specifically 11 a.m. During this time, the last rum was served aboard the British Royal Navy ships. For the auctioning of the last 1,000 bottles, the original Royal Naval rum tot was served only at state functions and royal weddings. The legendary rum has a romantic history that stretches back 300 years. A standard tot of original Royal Naval rum consists of 1/8 of a pint of rum. This has over 50% ABV and is traditionally considered overproof. The nose of the rum is full of blackberries, oak, and dark chocolate, but with similar characteristics to the Pusser rum, but way better. It has an exceptional taste, and you can detect the following notes: coffee, tobacco, oak, dark chocolate, coffee, again, and blackberries. And Elixir Distillers bottled it. Now we're going to have a major price jump here. Number 4 on this list, it's the 50-year-old Appleton Estate. This is going for a mere $6,630. The 50-year-old Appleton Estate was released in 2012 in honor of Jamaica's 50th celebration of independence. As a limited edition, the rum is rare and has been aged in oak barrels for 50 years, finally giving it a decadent flavor. The oak barrels were hand-selected, and today the 50-year-old Appleton Estate is believed to be the oldest rum in the world to have gone up for sale. Distribution of 800 bottles was done to mark Jamaica's 50th celebration of independence, as we mentioned. What you ought to know is that the bottling of the 50-year-old Appleton Estate was planned way before even Jamaica got independence from the British in August of 1962. Thanks to special blending techniques used by master blenders, the rum is of historic caliber. It has a wide range of flavors that befit its 50 years of blending. The good news is that it does not have too much tannin. A crystal decanter was used to bottle the 50-year-old Appleton Estate, and Glencairn Crystal in the UK produced it. It has a curvaceous shape, just like the Appleton's vessels. The cork and brass stopper have a gold finishing. I bet that rum is delicious. Another massive price jump here. Barbados Private Estate 1780. Get your hands on this for $10,000. In 1780, servants of the first Earl of Hereward, Edward Lascelles, distilled and barreled rum, which later was shipped to the Earl's home in England, where it was bottled and stored in the cellar. For 231 years, the rum remained undiscovered until David Lascelles, the 8th Earl of Hereward and a first cousin of Queen Elizabeth II, discovered the stash. As a result of the extended aging, the rum was able to fetch the following price during the auction, and of course that was $10,667. When the rum was discovered in the family mansion cellar, it was covered in mold and spider webs. It took several hours for servants to clean the bottles before they were auctioned. The bottles were made from hand-blown glasses, and the rum was auctioned at Christie's, making history as one of the most expensive rum to be auctioned at that price at the time. There are reports that David Lascelles gave the money from the sale of 12 bottles back to the Caribbean people via the Geraldine Connor Foundation as reparations, which is very nice of him. Number 2. Oh my God, another massive price jump here. Legacy by Angostura. The the second most expensive rum in the world, fetching $25,000. Legacy by Angostura, a special blend of 7 of the rarest and finest rums. Each of the rare and fine rums have been aged for a minimum of 17 years. They were selected from a collection of 80,000 casks. After blending the final product, Legacy, some floral notes with bruised tropical fruits. In addition, it has the following notes too: honey, clove, vanilla, hints of roasted coffee, and strong oak. The aftertaste is spicy, has nutty flavors, and a taste of dried fruit. Legacy is bottled in a crystal decanter, which is inspired by an original 1930s Art Deco design. A British jeweler, Asprey, made the crystal decanter. Final touches on the crystal decanter includes a sterling silver topper. When shipped, it's packed in a handmade wooden case lined with velvet and silk. And on the outside, it's covered with soft leather. $25,000. It could be yours. And number one, at a whopping $54,000, the 1940s J. Ray and Nephew. This is the most expensive rum on this list. It was founded as the Shakespeare Tavern in Kingston, Jamaica. John Ray opened it in 1825. Over the next 50 years, the company grew steadily, finally becoming a successful venture. In 1860, Charles James Ward, Ray's nephew, joined the business. As a dynamic and gifted entrepreneur, he was able to transform the company. After the passing of the founder in 1870, Charles James Ward continued to run the business, making it one of the best commercial businesses in Jamaica. 1940s J. Ray and Nephew was distilled for 70 years before being bottled and distributed in the market. Each bottle is priced at $54,000, and there are only less than 4 bottles remaining. So there you go, $54,000, the most expensive rum in the world, and that is today's JNC Top 10. That makes me want to have a rum drink now. But I'm not a heathen. I can't. I'm not gonna have a drink before noon, at least. Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna hit you with some shameless plugs here, and let you get on with your National Rum Day. Of course, check out tomorrow night the Jams and Cocktails podcast. We'll be sampling some of Sammy Hagar's pre-made or ready-to-drink cocktails. So it should be a good time. And then, of course, the normal shenanigans with the Geordie Files and everything else. So check that out tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Tonight, a special day and time for Paul's biggest happy hour, or in a half hour, is tonight at 8 p.m. And he'll be celebrating National Rum Day. Of course, he just dropped a brand new podcast featuring Just Rum, John from Just Rum, which is what I was drinking last night. So get to know a little bit about that story. And it's a great rum. He's got great flavors. I was drinking the maple and wood blend, if you will. And it was delicious. On ice. Wonderful. So yeah, check that out tonight, I believe. Yes. He said to message him, anybody that wants to be on the Zoom call. He's going to do an open Zoom for anybody that wants to be a part of the show. He'll have you Zoom in while we celebrate National Rum Day tonight, 8 p.m. I will be on that Zoom call myself. Having a nice rum, so it should be good. Check that out. Of course, I would love for you to go and check out JNC Radio on the LIVE365 Radio App, completely free. Wherever you get your apps, get in there, install it on your phone, search for JNC Radio, and add us to your favorites. Listen to great music cool local tunes all day. And you can listen to this show live and, of course, the JNC podcast on Wednesday nights. And more to come for that. National Rum Day. Go check out our friends at Code Rum. They're a family of products. Thecoderum.com. Check it out. Hop Life Brewing. Our good friends at Hop Life Brewing in Port St. Lucie. Great beers. Check them out if you're ever local. And as I mentioned, the live stream tonight with Paul. So I'll obviously, once that goes live, we'll be sharing that to our pages as well. So you'll be able to link right in there to Paul's show. So yeah, that's my shameless plugs. And I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. I can't wait to get my face in and around some delicious rum this afternoon. Join me again tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. for another edition of Jams and Coffee. And, of course, the Jams and Cocktails podcast tomorrow night. It'll be a whole day of sitting in this chair broadcasting tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in today. Take care of yourselves and each other. Drink some water, for God's sake. And in between your rums, will you? My name is Brad. Have a great day.
Tune in again tomorrow morning for the latest local buzz, national headlines, music news, and more on JNC in the Morning, right here on Facebook and YouTube.